All right, we have the full audio of Donald Trump's statement at his sentencing for New York's criminal court last week. And it is so funny to me because the right, Sean Hannity, and all of these others, they are portraying Donald Trump's 6-minute unhinged rant in court as some kind of heroic performance and really sticking it to the man. Of course, Trump is the man. There's no a greater sort of representation of establishment power and crony capitalism and just inheriting wealth than Donald Trump. But put that aside for a moment. We have the audio now, and Fox News played it. Trump's sentencing statement is so absurd. It's sort of like a sir, this is a Wendy's kind of moment. Let's listen to some of it. And it is wild that MAGA thinks this is heroic.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. This has been a very terrible experience. I think it's been a tremendous setback for New York and the New York court system. This is a case that Alvin Bragg did not want to bring. He thought it was, from what I read and from what I hear, inappropriately handled before he got
Your Honor, I've heard things.
there. A gentleman from a law firm came in and acted as a district attorney, and that gentleman, from what I heard, was a criminal or almost criminal in what he did. It was very inappropriate. It was somebody involved with my political opponent. Part of the records that we're talking about, they're saying, I just noticed where he said I was falsifying business records. Well, the falsification of
It's funny how Trump goes, I just saw that they're saying I was falsifying business records. Dude, you've been convicted on 34 counts months ago. And Trump's like, I'm hearing that they're saying I falsified business records, but I really didn't. It's just not something I did.
Business records, as they said, was calling a legal expense in the books where everybody could see them, a legal expense. In other words, that legal fees or legal expense were put down as legal expense by accountants. They weren't put down by me. They were put down by accountants. I didn't call them construction, concrete work. I didn't call them electrical work. I didn't call them any. They called a legal fee or a legal expense a legal expense. And for this, I got indicted.
Notice that this is the same argument Trump's been making for years, and we're way beyond it already.
It's incredible, actually. Now, if you look, my attorney alluded to it, the top legal scholars and legal pundits in this country, the ones that are quoted all the time on television.
Yeah, like my friends on Fox News is what he means.
That are making their views felt and highly respected people have said, everyone, virtually everyone that I know of, I haven't seen any to the contrary, not one. And none of these people are not exactly friends of mine, to put it mildly. But they all said this is a case that should have never been brought. It's an injustice of justice. Very respected Jonathan Turley, Andy McCarthy, Judge David Rifkin, a wonderful man who just passed away, by the way.
Totally unbiased, objective people.
Greg Jarrett, Ellie Honig from CNN, of all places. CNN said that. Paul Ingrassia, Alan Dershowitz. They all said this is not a case that should be brought. It's not, think about it, legal expenses are down as legal expenses, and I get indicted for business records. Everybody should be so accurate. It's been a political witch hunt. It was done to...
By the way, for large swaths of this, Trump appeared remotely in the court, and his video just is totally frozen, and it just adds to the sort of Kafkaesque aspects of this.
To damage my reputation so that I'd lose the election, and obviously that didn't work. And the people of our country got to see this firsthand because they watched the case in your courtroom. They got to see this firsthand, and then they voted, and I won and got the largest number of votes by far of any Republican candidate in history, and won, as you know, all 7 swing states, won conclusively all 7 swing states.
Of course, the margin in Michigan has very little bearing on whether Trump committed 34 criminal acts in New York. But I know in Trump's mind, they are related. And you know what? In a way, they're related in the real world, because Trump knew winning the election was a proxy to getting out of jail free. And that's exactly what happened. So can we say he's wrong that winning Michigan does relate to this case? I mean, it ended up relating.
And won the popular vote by millions and millions of votes. And they've been watching your trial, so they understood it. I wasn't allowed to use the lawyer-client privilege or the reliance on counsel. I had a lawyer that made this deal, and he admitted that. And he was also a totally discredited person. We weren't allowed to use the information from the Southern District that totally discredited him. It wasn't allowed to be put in. And that was terrible, unbelievable. And this is a man who's got no standing. He's been disbarred on other matters, unrelated. And he was allowed to talk as though he were George Washington. But he's not George Washington. He shouldn't have been allowed. The Southern District did a book of approximately 28 pages where I've never seen anything like it. They excoriated him. You wouldn't let it be put into evidence. So he was able to testify as a witness.
Anyway, listen, I'm not going to subject you to 2 additional minutes. It's the same me. I've been treated so unfairly, when in reality, it's Trump that has gotten so many benefits. And the sort of cherry on top of these special benefits, naturally, we all realize, is that now his sentence is an unconditional dismissal without any jail time, probation, or anything like it. Buckle up, because this is the sort of, the most privileged and specially treated snowflakes are getting ready to argue for the next 4 years that they are actually the biggest victims and no one's been treated more unfairly. And if you expect that to be bad, I hate to tell you that what we're going to see from the First Lady's office is probably even worse. Starting an online business has really never been easier. With no upfront costs, minimal investment, and manageable time commitment, it is an ideal side hustle that can scale. Whether you're supplementing income or trying to transition to full-time entrepreneurship, an online business can give you flexibility and growth potential. And our sponsor, Build Your Store AI, makes it super easy and super quick. Build Your Store uses AI to create your website in minutes with a super simple, intuitive process guiding you every step of the way. Build Your Store can even provide ready-to-sell products so you can start selling right away. Just register and choose your niche and then set up your Shopify. Then you can register for AutoDS to streamline your product sourcing and order fulfillment, which will integrate seamlessly with your Shopify. And boom, you've launched a store. In minutes, you can create and launch a fully functional online store with no upfront cost. With BYS AI and AutoDS, it's a streamlined process, efficient, sets you up for success. Start your e-commerce journey today. Watch your side hustle grow into a thriving business. To get started, go to buildyourstore.ai/Pacman. The link is in the description.